shit.
Yes, he
Shut
will
up,
watch.
man. I'll touch you.
All
And
right.
what's
So,
up, father?
do you have
wanna
any other contentions? Like any other?
Yeah, what'd you say? I didn't. What was
Basically,
you
gojo just
say?
messes with the opponent's conception of like what near and what far is.
Yeah. And I asked for the quantifier or limitations for this, and what'd you say after that?
Are you just suggesting that all abilities should have a limitation?
No, but normatively they do.
Okay, and watch it up. Okay, let's just say the limitation to this ability is, I don't know, man. I don't have enough knowledge to like make that claim or
So
say
we
that.
can just say, wait. So we could just say then 3D because it goes under a 3D set. Like it basically follows under Gojo, who is 3D. Unless you're gonna have some sort of argument for
Sure,
why it's not.
sure. I think Gojo can also
Sure.
manipulate high dimensional spaces.
Okay, show this.
Yeah, so a 2D surface with a point, or a 2D surface with a point at infinity has the same topology as a 3D globe. Gojo just basically uses that to use like let's just say that
Wait, repeat that.
okay, so I'm gonna use an example. You know, a 2D surface with a point at infinity, you know, XYZ infinity, has the same topology as a 3D globe. Now let's just say that 2D thing is just like this world, right, or JJK world, right? And then Gojo can like use that, or you can use the space, you know, to like mess around with it and shit. I don't fucking know. I still just like
Can you show this? I'm a bit confused.
yeah. So basically, look, how do I explain this in monkey terms? Gojo 3D, right? Gojo 3D. Yeah. The space he's manipulating, you know, like space and time connected, Einstein's theory, blah blah blah. Actually, I forgot. It was like something to do with topology and math, and this is too much for my brain. I'm not
You
even gonna
said
lie.
the same.
Yeah. It's just something. It's like a
Something about a
mathematical concept.
topological globe.
Yeah. Something like that. It's just like something to do with math and like Gojo. You know, you can like use like limitless to like manipulate space and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna grant that he can do it, but to what level? Like only one dimension higher than him?
Yeah. One dimension harder.
Okay, that's fine. Are you done with your
Yeah.
scale?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then I'll scale then. Who joined? Buggy Wuggy.
No idea.
Let me get the scans real quick. I forgot to download one. Holy
That guy
flipping
is scary, bro. That nigga's like predicate logic in his fucking bio.
Yeah,
fucking
that was
scary.
super scary. Yeah. I have no idea
Predicate
what.
logic is not that hard, I think.
Yeah, I know, but like not a lot of
Your
debaters
bio makes you
talk about
scary.
predicate logic. Name 5 debaters that talk about predicate logic within like you know, I don't fucking know. You just name 5 niggas that do that. You can't.
You don't have to talk about it if it's unnecessary. What the hell?
Yeah, no, I just don't be seeing niggas use that in a debate. Like,
Yeah, because it's not necessary, just like
yeah, it's not.
propositional logic. and
Okay,
searching.
so if someone does use it, I'll just go ahead and think, oh, they're super intimidating, they're super smart, man.
I mean, I can actually name a bunch of examples. For example,
We
Smoothie,
don't
Lucario,
care. Kill
I don't know.
yourself.
Sente,
You're not gonna touch
Yugi,
my goat like that.
Madoka. Anyways, what's it
You
called? I
think,
sent it. And she's omnipotent.
yeah, so
It's
what does
just
it mean to be omnipotent in that place? Like in that yeah, see, this
I
is the
think
scandal. Japan is
huh?
together about nothing. Continue.
Is this fate?
What does it mean to be
Oh,
omnipotent in?
Yeah. I think it just inductively means normatively it would just mean like all powerful.
Yeah,
That's
so
why
why couldn't it be the case that she's just stronger than everyone else? Therefore, they think of her to be this omnipotent being because
I
everyone else
mean,
is.
well, it's because wait. Yeah, so it says that's why I'm capable of anything. It's not coming from someone else. It just seems kind of inconsistent to say, for example, well, this person's omnipotent because they're stronger than someone else. Obviously, that's going to be coming from some sort of external perception of her, but it's coming from her.
Yeah, everyone
And
else sees her
also,
to be.
oh, wait. Also, the fact that it's stated that her mystic eyes will kill everything. It's not talking about some sort of individual person, so obviously that's not going to make sense.
Okay,
It's
well,
talking
first,
about anything
yes,
that
okay,
can exist
look,
in nature.
yes, look, just be a good guy and be quiet.
Just
All
move
right,
because I will
I was
anger
gonna
you.
say, so, and it says that's why I'm capable of anything. Why couldn't it be anything within that set? Like, for example, how she's like stronger than everyone else. I have not read Fate. I don't know. Or Fate, I meant to say. I've not read Fate, but she's like the strongest being there. And because she's the strongest being, no one can match up to her strength and shit like that. So yeah, that's why she's capable of doing anything. Because
Wait, but by virtue of it saying, wait, just to be clear, if she was stronger than everyone, why would she be saying anything? I think that if
yeah,
she's
because
saying
nobody
anything, that's going to be a claim inclusive to logical possibilities, not just
yeah, because like
in some
nobody
sort
can
of
stop
scope.
her. For example, they wouldn't be able to stop her from like I don't know, just like killing 15 people. I don't know why, because she's just stronger than all of them. So they could mean that she's omnipotent like that.
Wait, that's not a counter. Obviously, her talking about anything is gonna like normatively be something in a
Yeah,
logical
prove
framework
affirmative.
or anything logically possible, just going off of like the predicates of it.
You know what? Sure. She's omnipotent. Yeah, I don't.
Okay, yeah. So she can just make herself 8D or whatever and make it so Gojo doesn't win.
Yeah. So are you just like committed to the claim that Gojo isn't 8 dimensional, therefore she would win?
I mean, you haven't shown anything that implies it. You already agreed he's 3-dimensional and so is his like, ability.
No, I'm just like saying, are you committed to the claim that just because he's 3 dimensional, he loses?
Committed as in like gonna stay with that claim no matter what.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I'll stay with the claim that he gonna lose, but I don't know. I'm gonna
Okay.
say
Why would him? Why would her
wait.
being
No, I'm not done.
8 dimensional mean
I'm
that
gonna say that for now, from what I've seen, he's 3D and what you've agreed upon.
Yeah, okay, sure. Okay, so why is her being 8 dimensional mean he loses? Go ahead.
Yeah. So, your argument was arguing that he can manipulate higher, using this like, what's it called? The
Apology,
concept of
blah blah
near and
blah.
far. Okay, using the argument for near and far or whatever you said, well, he could probably do this to your character. I asked, okay, why is this going to be applicable to higher dimensions? I granted it could work on a one higher dimension. You granted it was only 3D because Gojo is 3D and it's limited to like whatever. So if she's 8D, it's just not going to work on her. So your
Yeah,
argument is wrong.
I don't see that follows at all.
Okay, why not?
If you're saying that just because she's 8 dimensional, meaning that infinity wouldn't, are you talking about infinity here?
No, I'm talking about the other argument where he can manipulate the concept of
Yeah,
distance.
I don't care. Okay, yeah, okay, I don't care about that as long as she can't go to infinity. I don't see why her being eight
Oh yeah,
dimensional
what are you gonna argue infinity being 8 dimensional?
no. I just don't see
Okay, so
why her
then
being 8 dimensional means that she go to infinity.
yeah, so if infinity is just gonna be some sort of subset or like um made by space, then obviously it's gonna follow under the dimension of space it's in. It would be absurd to say, well, it's infinite space in a it's an infinite 8D space in a 4D thing. It just seems retarded.
I don't think you're trying. I don't think you're getting what I'm trying to say. Um, what I'm just trying to say here is
I know what you're
just
saying.
because. Yeah. Okay. So, are you trying to say it's limited to 3D? Or infinity is limited to 3D?
If it works under 3D space, then
Yeah,
it
it could
can.
work under 3D, but it could like still go beyond it. We just haven't been shown that it could go beyond it.
Well, then why would we make that claim if it's not gonna be
Because
like,
we could come to the conclusion that it's beyond it via using like math and stuff.
okay, so we can come to the conclusion of something without actually. It just seems retarded. For example,
No, we
we
can
wouldn't.
like for example, like
Wait,
we
no,
can't see
stop,
God. That's a good
stop. We wouldn't say something is the case, or we can come to the conclusion with this if we're gonna lack some sort of knowledge, especially if it's gonna have to be observed through empiricism.
Wait, how long
Like
you
I
said
wouldn't
what?
make a metaphysical.
Repeat that first
I
part.
wouldn't.
I was listening. I was listening. Repeat that first part.
Yeah, I said it just seems weird or idiosyncratic, say unusual to actually it doesn't even follow to make a claim that we don't fully know about. That would have to be like if you're saying we can come to this conclusion, that's obviously gonna be a deductive case, but we can't do that if we lack knowledge on this thing, especially if
How
it's
do
gonna
we?
be something
Okay,
physical.
okay. I think that we could come to the conclusion that infinity still couldn't get bypassed even if you're on a higher dimensional space. Yeah.
You said what?
I said we could come to the conclusion that infinity still can't get bypassed even if you're on a higher dimensional space. Do you want the argument as to why?
Yeah, but you also said no if it works
Yeah,
on a higher dimensional plane.
even if it was like, let's say, even if we do them in 3D, I don't think high dimensional things can still go through it. You know, like,
Okay,
that's why.
that's retarded because
Is
obviously
it?
high dimensional thing. Wait. High dimensional things don't follow under the same prerequisites of lower dimensional things.
What do you mean?
Yeah, for example, 2D. We can say for a 2D person, let's say we draw a person in a box, right, or a person in three lines touching the
Okay.
bottom of a page. This person can only see left, right, up, and down, so they can't exit. But for a 3D person,
Yo, my
this
foot's
person's
screen.
able.
Okay. You said what? You said that. The person can only see left, right, up, and down. Yeah.
Yeah, but for a 3D person, they can also see forward and backwards if they stare straight. So they could exit that way. A 2D person can't do this, so we know there's different prerequisites that 2D people can't do, while 3D people can do.
Yeah, I think even though she could, I don't know, hypothetically be 8 dimensional and see in 8 different point of views, while we can only see in three. That doesn't mean that she could still go through the infinite barrier or boundary that infinity is. Like, let's take it to be this, all right? So Gojo is the asymptote, all right? Do you know what asymptote is?
What?
It's just like the point in like a mathematical space or something. Um, so Gojo's the asymptote, all right? And then to reach Gojo, you would have to reach him asymptotically, meaning you'd have to, move towards him to reach him. So then, while you're moving towards him, infinity is just gonna be the boundary. So instead of like continuing to reach him, maintaining the same speed, the closer you go towards him, the longer it's gonna get for you to reach him. Until, even though you're so close to the number one, which is, we could just say the limit is one, you're gonna be at like 0.999,000. Then you're gonna move again, and then the limit or the time it's gonna take you is just still gonna like continue to go up. Basically, you're just never gonna reach Gojo. So
Yeah.
even though your
Are
character is
you?
8 dimensional, look,
Wait,
even if your character is,
you-
let me finish, Even if your character is 8 dimensional, they would still need to reach Gojo asymptotically.
wait, are you saying since they have to do the same action to get him, that it's still gonna work?
No, I'm just saying that basically. Wait, okay. Do you think an 8 dimensional character still moves?
Yeah, so you're saying they have to do the same action. That's literally
Yeah, they
what you
would still
just.
have to move. I mean, sure. They'd have to still move to get to him.
Okay, and that's the reason why it would work.
You said what? And that's the reason why it will work. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so that's just. Oh my god, that's a counterclaim. That's not a counter argument.
No, I'm just saying that by virtue of what I'm arguing. Right? Do you agree to the asymptote and the asymptotically and the boundary and infinity and stuff like that?
The
Yeah,
what?
but like, even since you do agree to that, since you do agree to that, then since your character would have to reach Gojo asymptotically, they still couldn't reach Gojo, regardless if they were 8 dimensional or not.
Wait, you didn't. That's again just a counterclaim, not a counter argument.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. So, like, what's the? Why should I? Wait. So the argument that you gave was that she's 8 dimensional, therefore Gojo loses, right? Or the proposition.
Yeah, I don't even need to
Okay.
argue
Maybe I
that
wasn't
if I
tracking.
get one.
Yeah. Like, repeat it.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
What? Yeah, I'm asking you to repeat
Oh,
what you said. Maybe I wasn't tracking.
yeah. My argument is that she's omnipotent. You agree to that, unless you want to go back to arguing on it. That's the case.
No, I
So
think.
she could. Hmm?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, that's fine. She can be omnipotent. Yeah.
Yes. So by virtue of that, she can just make herself 8D.
And why does necessarily being on a hard dimensional space mean that she can reach Gojo?
Yeah. She can just
Fine.
make it so. Yeah. She can also just make it so. Gojo doesn't have infinity or he doesn't exist.
Yeah, go ahead and prove that. Or go ahead and prove
Yeah,
that
she's
can be
omni.
applied. Yeah, go ahead and prove that can be applied to Gojo. I think Gojo's also omnipotent.
Okay, prove that.
Yeah, so Gojo can bring about natural negative numbers.
So he can do contradictions.
Yeah, man. Sure. Yeah.
Can you prove contradictions can exist?
Yeah, so fiction is just made up of words. And in a
So
linguistical format, we can bring about any contradiction. Like, for example, writing down a square circle, even though this can be actualized within, I don't know, inside of reality, then we can come to the conclusion that since fiction is made up of words, that in fiction there can be contradictions.
okay, so what's it called? Why does that mean it's actualized?
Yeah. So wait. Yeah. No, because fiction is made up of words. So
That's
therefore,
circular.
we cannot.
That's
If we can,
circular.
no, no. Let me explain. So, if we can like write down a contradiction into a word format, and fiction is just made up of words, then Gojo can do a contradiction.
Again, that's circular.
Yeah, you could do. Yeah. Wait. How's that circular?
Yeah, because if I'm asking why this means it's actualized, and you said, well, because
Oh, are you saying
fiction is
actualize
made
within
up.
the story? Are you saying it's like why is it actualized within the story?
Yeah, no. What I mean, I guess, but what I also mean is when we talk about like Crossverse, we uh bring in the framework of fiction to like exist or how we would exist, but obviously there needs to be utilizing for abilities. So saying the claim that this thing can
How is
exist
it?
isn't going to be
Can you like
utilizing it.
repeat the first part? Can you repeat the first part? I wasn't listening.
Yeah, yeah. So which part?
The first part, the when you said something about fiction and claims. And,
Yeah. When we talk about fiction, or a cross-verse narrative, we actualize fiction. So,
what do you mean by actualized fiction? I don't understand.
we would bring it to view how we view ourselves.
Why? Yeah, why do you have to do that necessarily for the crossverse battle to commence? I don't think you have to do that.
Okay, so
I think
wait,
we
so
can
you're
talk
saying
about this without like having to imagine how the battle would go.
wait, how would that work?
Okay, like necessarily like we can just like say that he can do this and he can do that. Actually, wait, hold on. What do you
That
mean by actualize? What do you mean by
yeah,
actual?
like
We
first
just
of all,
imagine it?
that's biting the bullet. Second of all,
No, I'm
actualize
just
just
like
means
you know
bring
what you mean.
into bring into existence.
Like so, we're not bringing it into this existence. Like yeah, sure.
Yeah, I agree. We're bringing it into
Okay.
like a hypothetical.
Okay, yeah. Okay, in the hypothetical, I think the laws of logic can still be like broken and shit.
Okay, why?
Yeah, hold on, let me get the argument.
Okay.
Um. mm, mm, yeah. So here it is, man. Let me send it into. Let's see. Where's the premise on fictional beings exist in imaginary worlds. Pursuing in these worlds, the rules of reality can be altered or suspended. Therefore, fictional beings can defy the laws of thought because they exist in contexts where such defiance is possible due to the nature of fictions. For instance, illogicality existing can just refer to a symbolic expression of what illogical instance is. An author is capable of expressing absurdities by virtue of having the ability to freely write upon the canvas. To assign X properties, you must affirm X can/will have those properties. If you're adhering to an entirely different form of logic than the other interlocutor, I don't know if I wrote there. To support Y, you're more likely to be true, and mine's are more likely to be true under Hitchens rates from mine.
Can you repeat that?
You said what? Okay.
Repeat.
Okay. Fictional beings exist in imaginary worlds. In these fictional worlds, the rules of reality can be altered, suspended. Therefore, fictional beings can defy the laws of thought because they exist in contexts where such defiance is possible due to the nature of fiction. For instance, let me give an example. Why?
Wait, I'll just read the,
Just
wait. No, it's fine. I'll just read the syllogism.
you may good.
What's the inference rule?
Um, just don't even account for the premise. Just say fictional beings exist there.
Oh, it's an informal argument.
Let me fix it then.
Fictional beings exist on the rules of.
There. Let me
Wait,
fix
for
it now.
just to be clear, that's again circular. Obviously, if I'm asking you why is this is the case that it can be altered, or the laws of thought can be altered, saying well it can be altered is circular.
No, I'm not saying it can be altered. No, I'm giving justification as to why it can be altered.
Fictional beings exist in imaginary worlds. In these worlds, the rules of reality can be altered. That's you
No,
saying they
yeah,
can be
that
altered.
you haven't finished the whole thing. In the later parts of the argument, it justifies as to
That's
why
just
that's the case.
no,
So if
that's
you're just
just
gonna read,
affirming
yeah,
the existence.
if you're just gonna read like the first two sentences and just say that, well, because of the first two sentences, you're doing this
Wait,
fallacy.
I'm reading.
All right, continue reading that.
Logical quality. So you can just you're saying since an author can write whatever they want, they can write illogical things.
Sure, man. Sure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, why can they actualize that sad thing?
Actualize it up onto a canvas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can just express what they want illogically to be.
Okay,
Like
that's
example,
like.
like for example, yeah. So for example,
Wait, why does that matter?
yeah, okay. What do you mean? Why does it matter how? You just asked why can it
Yeah,
be?
yeah. Obviously, they're like trying to convey it, but when I ask you why it's going to be the case, this is actualized, saying well because they want to convey it how they want it isn't going to be adequate or seem to like justify anything.
Bro, you said how are they actualizing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the way they actualize it within their fictional story is by statements and ways we know that they're doing something illogical.
I mean, what's in question is those statements.
Are you questioning the truth value of the statements?
Yeah, I'm questioning why these statements existing means the thing exists within the statement or being proposed
Well, if
exists.
we're gonna use statements, but then okay, like if we're gonna use statements to say that this thing exists, or are we gonna use these statements to describe the thing that's happening there? Then, well, we can just take it to be the case that that thing exists or that thing is true. Look, for example, let me see. The only way to like prove a statement is true or go follow the contents of a statement is like adhere what those contents particularly say. The likelihood of the author lying and when a thought or damn that stutter is bad, but the likelihood of an author lying when affirming or assigning a truth value to something unlikely, and even if it is possible or something is unlikely, and even if it's possible, we take what's asserted on a narrative into face value. Even if the author could intend to lie, that has no relative effect upon what the narrative is trying to convey.
You're saying as long as it's like not unlikely and the
I
author
think
is
the
trying to
like
convey.
sure, man, sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I
Actually,
think the
hold on, you
point
said
of
what?
contention.
Wait, hold on, you said what? Repeat that again.
I was asking if you're saying that okay, if something is not unlikely, the author is like trying to convey it onto it to
No, that's
fit
not
the
necessarily what
scene.
I'm saying. No, that's not necessarily what I'm saying.
Okay, or can you extrapolate?
Yeah, so like basically in like simple terms, the only way to like prove the statement is true is to like adhere to what those contents particularly say. The likelihood of the author lying when he said those statements or assigning a truth value to something is unlikely.
Okay, so you're
So
saying
the likelihood
wait.
of
So
the
you're
author
saying
lying is
wait. So you're
lower than
saying
the
if
likelihood
something
of him not lying.
wait. You're
By time.
saying that if something fits the context, then it's gonna be like justified in being true.
No, the likelihood like it's just probably like if the likelihood that he's just lying would the likelihood of him lying or the likelihood of him not lying is stronger than the likelihood of him lying.
Wait,
Yeah,
so
that
if
the
he
author is
doesn't,
lying, he has said this statement, even if that
so
statement posts something contradictory.
wait. So as long as he's not lying, is true.
I'm just saying the likelihood of the statement being true as long as he isn't lying. Yes, probable.
Yeah. So wait, what I just said. Okay, so what do you define lying as?
No, I don't know. Let's check Oxford, man.
Sure, I think Oxford just says that lying is the act of saying that something that is false, if I remember correctly.
Actually, no, it doesn't even say it. Lying in depth. This depth.
Lying.
So lying is the act of intentionally deceiving someone by making a false statement.
Okay. I'm not gonna argue that. Actually, can you show that?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I just took this from
Yeah. So from what I've seen, uh,
yeah,
the
right
verb
here.
of the verb of lying just means not telling the truth. I don't see where it says intentional.
That's right here. I mean, if you know what the truth is and you decide to deceive the person.
Wait, do you think it's some sort of necessary thing that it's Gemini, not Oxford?
Yeah,
Do
because
you think
Oxford just to participate in the lie, which was even informative as well.
I disagree with that? For example, we could say, let's say,
Yeah,
someone gets raped.
like if someone asks,
Wait. Say, for example, someone gets raped and another person that wasn't there or didn't even hear of it says this person didn't get
Nigga,
raped.
what?
So will we shut up? Will we say this
What the
person?
hell?
What the
Will we say
fuck?
yo,
us?
shut
Yo,
up, nigga, damn, holy shit,
I'll rape you.
shut
Shut
up,
up.
let him continue. Fuck, you're saying what?
Yeah, I said this person saying that person didn't get raped means that person didn't.
No, okay, look, if they just say that lying is just the act of participating in a lie that isn't informative to, like, then we would just ask, well, what is a lie? Like, if
Yeah, a
I'm
lie
just
is
trying to
just
know
not
what
telling the
is,
truth.
okay, yeah, so Oxford Dictionary, the dictionary of Oxford or whatever, them saying that just to participate in a lie wouldn't be informative as to what we're saying. It just doesn't make sense. Like, if I didn't know what lying is, and someone just said to participate in a lie, then I would just ask, well, what is a lie? But yeah, that's why I just said it was informative. But yeah, I sent the statements. I sent I sent the in chat. The lying in-depth definition. Lying is the act of intentionally deceiving someone by making a false statement. The definition of lying can vary. There's no universal accepted definition. Traditional definition: the person makes a statement. Person A makes a statement. Person B believes the statement, or person A believes the statement is false. Person A intends for the other person to make this or to believe the statement is true. Person B now makes the statement to another person to continue the lie.
Anyways,
Yeah, shut up.
Wait, so you
British ass nigga. Nigga
I know what
Molly.
you're talking about. Bro, I just finished making tiramisu, bro. This shit looking good.
You said
wait. So again, this is where I disagree with Oxford. I don't think that you need to
Alright,
intentionally
alright,
doing
Hajun, you sound
something.
like Tay, but retarded. Please.
Yo, can you shut the fuck up?
yeah,
Hajun,
Wally. You're British.
I mean, Hajun sounds like Tay, but if he was more retarded, which I don't know how that's possible.
Okay, can you shut up?
Alright, Hassan Victor, my bad.
Yeah, what I was saying is, I don't agree with Oxford in this case because if it's saying lying is just making an untrue statement, then me saying, well, this person didn't get raped, well, they did, without knowing that they did, is that's going to be untrue. Then saying, well, a lie is something. Oh no, you understand what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, if you lack the knowledge upon it, you just make the statement. They just intentionally deceiving but someone by, like, showing that you can make the statement while you cannot.
Wait, so you're saying someone not having knowledge on something while saying
Well,
something else
no.
is true?
Yeah, it would
Is
just be deceiving because, like, if you were at, like, I don't know, let's say you're at a jury or a court, and then they bring you up to be the testimony, and you actually went there and you were just lying, just to help out the defendant who's said they got raped, and you go up there and you say, well, Your Honor, I heard this person getting raped, I saw them getting raped, and that person actually was lying. The person that got raped was lying, and you just lied to everyone in the court by saying or making a statement upon, like, something that you lack knowledge upon.
Yeah, obviously I agree with that, but I'm saying
Okay, so you
like
agree that
wait.
I'm
For a
just saying
second,
that
let me
it's just an untrue
I'm
statement.
saying I'm saying in a other hypothetical where someone has no knowledge on someone who got raped, they say this person didn't get raped. Oxford just defines lying as in making an untrue statement. If they define lie as intentionally making an untrue statement, that just seems like it doesn't follow because then what is
What?
lying? Lying is just like how we express someone saying a lie.
No, okay, lying. Okay, if lying is the act of making an untrue statement, well, then Oxford would be right. If someone said they got raped and I said you didn't get raped, but I wasn't there and I had no knowledge upon it, that would be lying. I would be lying to the person.
So then their definition for it having to be intentional is false, meaning
Yeah,
you
yeah,
bite the
you were
bullet.
intentional in the sense that you didn't know that they got raped, but you still intentionally made the claim that they did get raped, regardless.
Okay, so yeah, so we can just go off of that and say, well, what's it called? The author can lie in that sense and still not actualize something.
Yeah, but then but then you'd have to give the likelihood of the author lying is more probable than
Well,
the likelihood the
obviously,
author isn't lying. And obviously, when the author wants to convey something within his show, especially like ability, it's normative for him to not lie when expressing this ability.
well,
So the likelihood
obviously,
of the author not lying
wait.
is greater than the authorhood of the author lying.
Obviously, him saying something is gonna create some sort of contradiction in his story. He's gonna be unintentionally lying.
How is he okay? If the author intentionally wants this contradiction to be made, then where's the I don't see the correlation here.
I mean, I think this would just go like not even for one of us. I think this whole debate would go circular because then I would just say,
We
well,
can conclude. You conclude.
yeah. I mean, we can conclude, but I think we should continue on because I feel like this line point just seems inadequate.
You're not okay. Yeah, we can move on then. Sure.
Sure.
So, well, if you necessarily agree to if that point is up for whoever wants to judge this, then my next part would be
I mean,
since
I don't agree. Wait. I don't agree. I think this
yeah,
point
it's just up for the judge.
wait, no. First of all, there's no decent judge in this BC
Yeah,
right now.
I could just save the recording and I want to send it to people that want to judge.
I mean,
We could
good,
send
but I don't. Even
to
either way, if any of us got judgment on that point, I don't see how that's going to be like some sort of adequate justification.
What?
Because then it's going to go singular on. Okay, what if this like can illogicality exist in the first place?
Wait, I
I feel
can
like that
judge.
lying point is contingent upon that. No,
What, Zeni? What was the point?
no,
yes.
you can't
First, we
judge.
got voidshiki versus
Wow,
gojo.
I actually think I'm better than you because you couldn't argue
I mean,
anything
I
good.
don't care what you think. You suck.
Yeah, we can debate after. That's
And don't
fine.
talk
But
Yeah,
to
sure.
yeah,
Actually, I can concede to Zeni right now. We can debate right now.
oh, okay, sure, that's fine. Would you like to debate?
Yeah, sure. What topics do you do?
Yeah, sure.
Yo,
We can just do Crossverse. That's fine.
Yeah, sure. I'll take Shiki. I'll
Yeah,
take
sure. I'll take
Kanchi.
air. Yeah, sure. I'll take air for
hold
4 seconds.
on. Let me save the recording. Let me save the recording for you guys.
Yeah,
No, I'll
before we
take
get on to that
See,
though,
right
I'll
now,
just add.
concede, right? Or I say this recording,
Oh
concede.
no, it's fine. He already conceded to you, so he just lost. So that's fine.